The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 7 has released on Disney+, and I have had a chance to watch the latest episode, which includes standout scenes, Star Wars Easter eggs, and more to break down. In particular, I'm going to be explaining the plot and ending for The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 7, entitled The Believer, in the aim to help you guys gather a greater sense of what happened. This analysis will also contain spoilers, so if you do happen to be someone who isn't up to date on Season 2, then I would recommend watching this video after you've caught up. If you want to see more uploads on every episode of The Mandalorian Season 2, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoy this video, remember to give it a like rating. But without further ado, let's dive into my breakdown and explained video for The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 7. So with last week's episode of The Mandalorian being a gut punch with Grogu being captured by the Empire and leaning into his dark side, while Mando's ship, weapons and general sense of joy were destroyed by Moff Gideon's forces, the show has been setting a clear narrative path, all while continuing its successful world building. All the brilliant Boba Fett fight scenes, Easter eggs and announced Disney Plus spin-offs couldn't fill the hole that Baby Yoda left behind. But as Pedro Pascal's bounty hunter gathered old allies and fan favourites, including Temuera Morrison's Boba Fett, the stage was set this week for a massive assault to rescue the child. But instead, in classic Mandalorian fashion, our gang of heroes, with the addition of Bill Burr's Migs Mayfield, a sharpshooter from Series 1, have another mission to complete before we can get to the main action. Before they can track down Moff Gideon, they need to access an Imperial internal terminal, which means heading to a different planet for a sneaky bit of infiltration. What follows is a lot of classic heist action with lots of tense moments where our heroes are about to be discovered and characters joining the fight, as well as a major personal sacrifice for our Mando himself, who sacrifices his religious principles and armour to go undercover. It's a mark of how well this series has characterised Pedro Pascal's Din Djarin when the effect of his character removing his helmet fully pays off. The sense of shame from Mando as he wears Imperial gear is palpable, though as some pirates trying to hijack his and Mig's shipment learn, he's almost as deadly outside of the Beskar as he is within it. For a brief moment as he batters his way through his foes, essentially unarmed and in his Imperial armour, we're gifted with a brief glimpse into the world that could exist if stormtroopers and their Imperial gear were actually any good at anything. Luke Skywalker and his pals wouldn't have stood a chance. In fact, you might find yourself internally intrigued as Migs and Mando are saved by TIE fighters and a platoon of stormtroopers, offering an odd twist on Star Wars as the usual villains are left cheering like the rebels at the end of A New Hope, happy to bring them home safely. But the tension isn't over yet. To actually get in and access the Imperial Access Terminal, Mando has to do what he's been avoiding all series, and remove his helmet, which means for the first time this series, Pedro Pascal has a lot of FaceTime with the other cast, and no sooner is poor old Brown Eyes unmasked than he's trapped in the drinking sesh from hell with Migs and an Imperial officer who offers an intriguing hint at the Empire's strategy after the original trilogy. This involves causing as much havoc to the New Republic as possible until people are essentially begging for the Empire to return. Everyone thinks they want freedom, but what they really want is order, he notes, shortly before taking a blaster bolt to the brain from the angry Mayfield. In short order, this particular branch of the Empire has been blown up in the course of Mayfield and Mando's escape, including the world's shortest TIE fighter dogfight, but the Imperial officer's comments linger in the mind. Is this how the First Order begins, and which other Imperial remnants remain? Well, next week we may find out. In the episode's closing moments, after setting Mayfield free with his thanks, Mando sends a threatening message to Moff Gideon, warning him of the rain he's bringing down upon him after taking Grogu, who interestingly doesn't appear in this episode at all, marking a first for the series. "He means more to me than you will ever know," the Mandalorian says. It sets up a possible thrilling conclusion to Season 2, and with all the characters lining up to be involved with the action, there's no doubt that there will be twists and turns. And we can't end without referencing Boba Fett's brief appearance, as he saves Mando and Mayfield in his classic ship, the Slave One. We see him use his ship's member berries to take out the TIE fighters, which is a nice callback to Attack of the Clones, along with seeing Boba in his armour, having now been cleaned. Also, seeing the character and Mando standing side by side once again, both in costume, calls for an awesome team up in the final episode. But at the end, Migs Mayfield is set free by Mando and Cara Dune, and most of our characters we've been following are sticking around for the big Baby Yoda rescue. But that was my brief breakdown video explaining the plot and ending for The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 7. I thought this episode was more of a classic delayed gratification for a series that excels in gently putting off its main mission. But as a filler episode, it was still filled with some big moments that were explored and ones which can be expanded upon later on down the line. With Mando unmasked for a longer period of time and the Empire's evil plan being hinted at, we get a solid episode on the point that even hardened criminals will put themselves in danger when they hear that a powerful character like Grogu needs their help. Even if this was a quieter week in terms of what we are all looking forward to, this episode still sets up a potential great finale with all the pieces coming together to build the final picture. I'm giving episode 7 of The Mandalorian Season 2 an 8 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown and review, and overall, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on next week's final episode to wrap up this season. I'm also intrigued to hear all of your thoughts on episode 7, so let me know down below in the comment section, as well as listing your predictions for episode 8, which is this season's finale. For more Mandalorian Season 2 and beyond, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating. I will be doing an explained and review video for next week's final episode, alongside bringing constant updates on the new Star Wars show, so make sure to keep a lookout for whenever I post. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.